With Nico Harrison officially out as general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, the franchise appears to be heading toward a full-scale rebuild, and that means Anthony Davis could soon be on the move. According to Ricky O'Donnell of SB Nation, one potential destination is the Miami Heat, who could make a compelling offer centered around young talent and draft capital. Miami Heat receive Anthony Davis. Dallas Mavericks receive Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, Simone Fontecchio, 2029 Miami Heat first-round pick. O'Donnell's proposed trade sees Miami receiving Anthony Davis, while Dallas would land Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, Simone Fontecchio, and a 2029 first-round pick. The deal, on paper, provides both sides with something they need. For the Mavericks, it's a chance to reset their roster around number 1 overall pick Cooper Flagg, while recovering much-needed assets after years of burning through future draft capital. For Miami, it's a chance to finally bring in a true superstar big man, one who can pair with Bam Adebayo to form a devastating two-way frontcourt. The Heat gets a new superstar. Miami, meanwhile, has both the motivation and the flexibility to make a move. The Heat are sitting in the middle of the Eastern Conference pack, but there's a sense of urgency building in South Beach. Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra know the window is closing, and Davis, despite his durability concerns, offers a path back to contention. If healthy, a core of Adebayo and Davis would immediately give Miami one of the best defensive duos in NBA history, not to mention a potent mix of inside-out scoring and elite rebounding. The fit would be seamless defensively, with Davis and Adebayo capable of switching across all 5 positions, something Spoelstra's schemes thrive on. Offensively, Davis would benefit from Miami's disciplined half-court play and spacing, likely easing the pressure on his body compared to his current heavy workload in Dallas. The Mavericks start the rebuild. With Dallas sitting at 3-8 and 14th in the West, Davis's departure feels inevitable. The once hopeful win-now project built around him, and Kyrie Irving has collapsed. Irving remains sidelined with a torn ACL, Klay Thompson is struggling through the worst shooting stretch of his career, and Davis has already missed several games with yet another injury. In short, the Mavericks need to pivot and fast. For Dallas, this deal would represent a soft rebuild rather than a teardown. Tyler Herro, still just 25, would instantly become the team's leading perimeter scorer, offering three-point shooting and secondary playmaking next to Cooper Flagg. Kel'el Ware, the 7-foot rookie out of Indiana, brings upside as a rim-protecting big who can stretch the floor. Simone Fontecchio, a versatile forward with solid shooting touch, adds depth and experience. The 2029 first-round pick, meanwhile, is essential. Dallas currently lacks control of its first-rounders in 2027, 2028, and 2030, and ownership has made it clear they want to restock their future assets. This trade could become a reality after Nico Harrison is fired. With Harrison gone, and new leadership expected to take over soon, there's a growing belief around the league that Dallas will aggressively shop Davis. The New York Knicks have also been mentioned as a possible wild-card destination, given their surplus of assets and the appeal of pairing Davis with Jalen Brunson. However, Miami's blend of win-now ambition and tradable pieces makes it a logical frontrunner. If this trade materializes, it could reshape both franchises. The Mavericks would finally begin their long-overdue rebuild, while the Heat could reignite their championship aspirations, betting that Anthony Davis still has enough left to dominate when it matters most. In an unfortunate turn of events, the Cleveland Cavaliers will be without Darius Garland again. He has already been ruled out of a game against the Heat after injuring his toe in a previous matchup with Miami. Now, he will miss the rematch. Garland had surgery on his foot during the offseason and had just recently come back. In fact, he has played in just 2.5 games this NBA season. His return to basketball is now put on pause after he limped off the court. The Cavaliers have released an injury update, and the statement they released is concerning for Cavaliers fans. Cleveland Cavaliers release a statement on Darius Garland's injury. Following further testing, the Cavs released a statement regarding Garland's toe injury. Cavaliers guard Darius Garland injured his left great toe during Monday night's game at Miami. Further evaluation post-game and Tuesday by the Cavaliers medical team revealed a contusion. The incident occurred during the second quarter when Garland made incidental contact with Heat forward Nikola Jovic on a drive to the basket. Garland will receive daily treatment and continue with the established post-surgery management plan. He is listed as out for tonight's game in Miami, and his return to play availability will be updated as appropriate. It is good news that Garland only has a contusion and that there is no structural damage. On the other hand, it's concerning that he has hurt this toe a second time. The Cavs also did not release a timeline for how long he will be out. With Garland out, the Cavaliers' offense has not been as prolific as it was last year. After having the top-rated offense a year ago, they have fallen to 8th this year. Cavaliers will be without Darius Garland for an undisclosed period of time. Without Garland, more burden will be placed on Donovan Mitchell to help carry the offensive load. He is also listed as out for this game against the Heat, but he will have to be the primary offensive driver moving forward. The Cavaliers will proceed cautiously with Garland's injury. Injuries have killed their postseason chances in the last 2 years, so keeping their main guys healthy at the end of the season is the top priority for them. It is unclear when Garland will return from this injury. The Cavs will release appropriate information regarding that as he continues his treatment. The Miami Heat have opened the 2025-26 season with a mixed bag. At 7-5, they sit 6th in the East. Competitive enough to stay in the mix, but still searching for the consistency that defines the league's top teams. Since Jimmy Butler moved on, Miami have been looking for the next star who truly shifts their ceiling. One idea proposed by Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus sends Tyler Herro, along with a trade exception, to the Memphis Grizzlies in exchange for all-star guard Ja Morant. The trade pitch: Miami takes the gamble. Morant's situation in Memphis has shifted quickly. The Grizzlies suspended him for 1 game after comments they believed were detrimental to the team, and he admitted he has lost his joy following a 3rd straight loss. When a franchise player starts speaking like that, the league pays attention. Miami tend to lean in when others lean out. They see possibility in players who need a different environment. Structure, accountability, and culture have long been their selling points. They believe they can steady players who have veered off course. They have done it before. Pincus noted that Morant may not fit Eric Spoelstra's system immediately. That might be true. But when a player with this level of talent becomes even remotely obtainable, teams think hard about what it would look like. Why it makes sense for both sides. For Memphis, a move like this resets the board. Trading Morant's $39.4 million salary open space in the locker room and on the books. Herro gives them shooting, scoring, and team control. When he returns from his ankle injury, he fits nicely next to Jaren Jackson Jr. and young pieces like Jalen Wells and Cedric Coward. For Miami, the appeal is obvious. Morant changes possessions by himself. His speed, burst, and rim pressure turn slow games into track meets. Over his last 3 full seasons, he averaged 23.2 points, 7.3 assists, and 4.1 rebounds. When he is right, he is one of the toughest covers in basketball. Put him next to Bam Adebayo and Norman Powell, and the Heat suddenly have a downhill trio that forces teams to react. More importantly, it gives Miami a clearer identity, something they have lacked. Is Morant worth the risk for the Heat? For the Heat, this is a question about ceiling. Herro is a talented scorer. Adebayo is an all-star and the foundation of their identity. But neither is the type of player who changes a playoff series against a New York or Oklahoma City. Morant can be that player when everything aligns. For Memphis, it comes down to control. If a split feels more likely than a long-term partnership, getting value on their terms becomes the priority. Moves like this rarely happen early in a season, but the logic is there. Miami want a star. Memphis wants stability. At some point, those goals could intersect.